Hello. So it's the time of day I think most people have been waiting for. Many Uncharted fans in the room? That's what we want to see. Okay then, without further ado, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you Nolan North, Emily Rose, and Troy Baker.
Oh, there we go.
Just, you know, I got it back in there, boy. Just hit it down.
No, I got it.
Now swing it over.
I got it.
Swing it.
Yeah, I got it.
Swing that leg, man. All right, doing good.
You see what I got to deal with?
I got it. So,
Wow, you
Troy,
guys have terrible seats.
is it safe to assume you've been sampling some Guinness there, Troy?
Sampling? If that's what you call downing an entire bucket of it. I drank all the Guinness.
No, I didn't.
I thought that would get a much bigger response. I drank all the Guinness.
Hey, hold on a second. Cut my arm open.
I bleed brown.
I do. It's so good here.
It is so
you
yummy.
You can't appreciate it.
Well, the best thing is also it's like 9 a.m. Sir, would you like some coffee or would you like some tea? Guinness. Absolutely, sir, by the way. And there it is, and no one's judging you. No one's judging you.
It's the breakfast of champions.
It is.
Oh, it really is.
How are you finding Dublin so far?
Is this Dublin? We drank a lot of Guinness. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Absolutely. I mean, I had just a great time. I was here last year, and you know, this year's better because it's my second time, and I know where to go. And I've gotten plenty of suggestions for pubs. Thank you. I don't think I can get those all in tonight, but I will try. So,
How about if you see him in the morning, he's like this, he got them all in.
do I have this signed?
So you've been here before, Emily and Troy. Did you expect to see so many Uncharted fans in Ireland?
Well, yes and no, all at the same time. But it's amazing. I'm so thankful. It's fantastic.
Really? That's all you're gonna say?
Well, I mean, do I ever expect? I mean, yes, because it's amazing, but then I'm always again surprised, so.
I can top that, because I would literally was gonna look at you and go, I love the color of your nails.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, one person that laughed in the front. This is how, I mean, ADD. So what you want to do, take about that 150 hertz and just roll that on down. That's what you want to do. There it is.
There we go.
Who's the sound person? 150. This is the second time that I've been to Dublin, and it gets better every time. I love, because the first time you're in a new city, you feel like you have to see everything and you're just in a hurry. The second time you come back, you're like, okay, I've seen that, I can slow down a little bit. And the coolest thing is, it sounds cheesy, but it's the people, man. You guys are the best people in the entire world. You're the coolest people to hang out with. You can walk into any bar and just sidle up to the bar. Give yourselves a hand. You guys gotta start clapping, man. It's gonna be a long weekend. Jeez. You know what, you're right. It sounds corny, but it's really true.
Really, that's super nice.
I mean, you could have a guy sit there, sorry, but I need to punch you in the face.
No, we understand
with that.
Cool. You know, this is for Lions for Trump.
Big fan. Tell him
No,
what he makes
it's just, you guys are always the most gracious, inviting, warm. I love the pride that you have about this city and this country, and you share the history with it, because that's all we want to do. We just want to learn about what you guys have seen, and we got to go around all around the coast. We got to go up north and all the way west to Galway and then back to Dublin. So I got to walk on Raglan Road, and I had Luke Kelly in my head the entire time yesterday. So like, that was a beautiful thing. It sounds like I'm doing a remix of my own voice right now. And it's freaking me out. Anyway, so on a higher note are we?
Judging by the smiling faces in the room, I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of people with a lot of questions. So raise your hands, and I'll come around and let's get some questions for the guys.
This is very good, because we have nothing constructive.
Say what you want.
Where is the soundboard? I'll go back there, I can fix it.
I was just going with it. That's what I'm trained to do.
So you look very keen there. Here you go.
Go back to Galway. Yeah, so I'm a massive fan of you. It's not even just about being a massive fan of you. You represent like this big just thing. It's bigger than you think. I think I'm speaking as someone who wants to work in that industry. So just from that. The other thing is, this is for all of you to answer, but I don't know if I know he worked like, you know, you'd work like across The Last of Us, you'd work across Uncharted, like different ways, but I think I just want to ask, do you want to have you ever thought about doing games in a way like writing and directing and that kind of way, or is it like in a stronger way, you know, like basically taking that role, or are you just gonna stay down the route of like acting and
Wow.
Yeah.
Me first, you first?
You first.
Okay. Yes, constantly. I love games. I've been playing games longer than most of you, or even a concept. I had discs that I put in, and not CDs. I'm talking like floppies, baby. That's how I played my games. And this is a part of the industry that I absolutely love, and I have zero transferable skills, so I have to find a way to keep doing it within games. I got to direct my first game, directed all the performance capture for Shadow of War, which is the sequel to Shadow of Mordor. Anybody play that? Yeah. So thank you. That was a huge honor. I got to play Italian, and then I also got to, we saddled up again with Alistair Duncan, who plays Celebrimbor. Laura Bailey is joining us as a new member and a new character in the story, and a slew of other people that we're going to be rolling out leading up to October when the game comes out. But that was a huge honor for me to be able to work as a director, and I found out that I loved it. I also have been writing. Nolan and I both, I mean, even when we were on this trip, this place is so inspiring to us. We were just walking about the forest, and I went, I got an idea. And you pin it, you know, you just put this is the thing. Ideas are cheap. The expense is found in the execution. If you're a writer, if you're a photographer, if you're a musician, if you're an actor, whatever it is, good for you that you have an idea. That's step one. But don't let it just be there. Don't let that thing sit around in your mind. Put a pen to paper, put your fingers to a keyboard, whatever you have to do, pick up an instrument and put that thing down. Because ideas are given to you for a reason. That's a seed. Don't throw them on the ground. Plant them, let them grow. If you get an idea like that, you have a responsibility to that idea to see it executed. So yeah, that's the long answer. Yes, I want to write, I want to direct, I want to still act, but I want to make a game like The Last of Us. I want to make a game that changes people's lives and that makes people want to come out in droves like this and say what you did meant something to me. I want to be a part of making that, for sure.
No. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Everybody's like, that's all we needed. I did have the opportunity to do a show called Con Man with Alan Tudyk, Nathan Fillion, and they asked me to help produce on the Con Man mobile game, which you can get. Yes, it's out there. Nobody knows. Our marketing team dropped the ball. Annie? Annie, is that you? She died years ago. But when I got to be part of that process there it is. It's Con Man the game, and what you do is you build your own convention, and you manage your own con, kind of like the Simpsons tapped out, but that's what you do. And the characters from the show, he's what we call a whale because he spends a fortune every month on the game because he's totally stuck in it.
No, don't applaud that. My wife might divorce me over it.
You keep applauding. My kids are going to private school.
My con is bitchin' though, by the way. It's pretty rad. Everyone's like, I love this place.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think as things have evolved, I mean, I'm also working on producing some television, some on-camera stuff, and directing. I am painfully lazy on certain things, and that's a lot of work. And sometimes I think that takes it. Like my son, I have a 17-year-old son who I think will be a brilliant director. He just has that kind of mind, and he sees the whole picture. And I'm just like, so what's for lunch? And then I go do my little. So producing and acting, directing maybe, but I don't know if that's a lot more responsibility than I think I care to take on.
you.
If I had the opportunity to do that, I would absolutely love it. Directing, I find from working on projects, I get all these ideas just exploding in the back of my mind, and then like 2 seconds later, that's where the direction the team is taking it. So I feel like instinctually it's there. Right now I have 2 projects I'm working on. One is 4 years old, his name is Miles. And then I have an 18-month-old project named Memphis. And they are like 24/7. So I'm actually hoping that down the line, obviously if any of those opportunities come, I would take them in a heartbeat. But I feel, honestly, my strength really lies in collaboration. I feel like once a project is on a table, my strength comes in seeing it from a different perspective and then keeping that fire going. And I love the opportunity to do that. And that's why I loved Uncharted so much, was even though there was a team heading it up and creating it, we were so much a part of the discussion and so much a part of the development and deepening of some of those characters. So would I love to do it in the future? Hands down, for sure. But the collaboration is the thing that daily when I get to go into work, when that opportunity comes, that I just adore.
Great first question. You're off running.
Is that really the first question?
Be that good, everybody, by the way. Everyone's like, oh, I was just going to ask what you're doing.
And Troy, should we talk about TroyCon 2018 maybe later?
It's just, I'm just saying it's on the phone. You got to do it on the phone. Oh, look, Aliens. The aliens are killing me in that game, though. It's a real thing, by the way.
My name is Ethan, first of all, and I want to say it's just a privilege to meet you all today, and I love all the games that you are in, and Uncharted is one of my favorites. But my question is, what game was the most fun to be in, and why?
Of the Uncharted or any game?
Any game that you were in. Like.
Oh, me. Where do I start? Well, first of all, they're all fun in their own way. I mean, I'm very happy to say I've had very few bad experiences. You know, it's hard. I mean, here's the difference. Some of the games are performance capture. So when you say Uncharted, that's a decade of my life with my friends, and we're you know, and you're doing performance capture. It's not just
a
the
decade.
voice. Yeah. I'm so old now. I know people come up. You made my childhood. I'm like, who is this to? Then they say Owen, and it's E-O-I-N. I'm like, no, it's not. That's not Owen. Just lost my mind there for a minute. Yeah, Owen, you're there. No, but it's funny. There's been so many really great experiences, and just voice-wise, I mean, I did a Call of Duty a zombie thing one time, and they made the terrible mistake of putting Steve Bloom and Fred Tatasciore and I in the booth together. And it should have taken an hour, and we were in there for 3.5, and just making them horrible, just funny. But the short answer, I'll give you Deadpool, because I was 3 characters talking to himself, and they said, we'll have Deadpool talk like this, and we'll do all those lines. And then we'll do the more mature voice like this, and we'll do all those lines. And then the immature one like this. And I went, no, he sounds way more manic. He said, hey, I'm hungry. Let's get a pizza. No, a burger. No, burgers give you gas. Shut up. And it just sounded manic. And I mean, I was in a full sweat at the end of that, but we laughed so much in that session, making up things. I mean, there's kids here, but there was a song that didn't make that final game called F-U Legal. And it was to the legal department that kept cutting the stuff. No, you can't say that, can't say that. And they said, okay, well, we wrote a song, and it almost got through. So anyway, so my answer.
Well, if it's a musical number, of course we can include it.
Someone else. I don't want to talk anymore.
I think out of the Uncharted 2 was really fun for me. I think the improvisation, especially towards the end of the game, was really fun. And I think because at that point we had figured out that it was going to be taking off and that people loved it so much. And there was a lot of my favorite lines and moments in that game for sure.
Elena Fisher, last year's model.
That would be one of them. Your turn.
Who are you? I would say of all the games, the most fun that I've had was on Uncharted 4. Seriously, just because, that's the game that made me want to, I was like, I want to do that. I want to be in those, and all I wanted to do on 1, 2, or 3, and trust me, I embarrassed myself to be a part of those games. I just wanted to be one of the guys that died in it. Like, Nate just goes, and you die. That's all I wanted to do. So for me to find myself on set with the people that I've looked up to and respected for so long, and now they're friends, like I knew them, that to me was the most fun. And it's just a fun character. It's a fun set to be on. We laugh so much. I would say of all the ones, like Uncharted 4 was just fun, and you never wanted it. I mean, and I went on to 1. Like you said, this had been 10 years of your life. So I know that in some ways, the last one was the hardest, because you're like, I don't want this to end. I was like, I don't want this to end. You're like, I don't want this to end. Yeah. So it was different for me, because he's just at the end of his career, but still got a upswing.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm like the dog that they're like,
Let's go on out to it. Let's go for a ride, boy. No, you sit in the back. The shotgun's there in the second seat. We don't have it.
Yep, exactly.
Sure is a pretty day, isn't it?
Yeah.
You go on and look at that lake for a second.
Tell me about the rabbits.
Again,
He's trying to drink.
Whenever there's a gun involved, it's always that. It's always just some southern boy that's just gonna tell you what you're gonna do. Or a rope.
Okay, guys, question over here.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Starters, welcome to Ireland.
thank you.
Don't you feel like he's about to read us the news?
Welcome to Ireland.
You're a little late. We've been here a week.
Tonight on RTE, Nolan North, Troy Baker. I am so sorry I can't.
That's okay.
My,
Sustain it. Sustain it. Reese Witherspoon.
Thank
Nathan Drake's wife. Anyway,
you. There you go.
I'm very sorry. Social anxiety. But yeah, my...
Look at her. She's lost her mind. It's okay. We don't know who she is either.
No, she's just like, I have to live with him. I can't hang on. He does this all the time. That's my wife, by the way. That's my wife. She's like,
take
don't
the
do
mic away.
voices. Don't do
Someone
the
else.
voices.
my unfortunate girlfriend. Yeah, my main question was, how does it feel acting out these different characters over the years, such as Deadpool, Nathan Drake, and Nathan Drake's wife, and I'm sorry again, Booker, Joel, and all that, and know they have such gravity behind them, such history, such characteristics that people themselves look up to. Like, you act out these different characters and people look up to them, they look up to these acts, these
Performances.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to help him out here.
Oh, thank you very much. I need it. But
You just pick up that shovel and keep digging that hole.
There he is. Now crawl inside.
So you're like, what is it? Well, you know, I think with any character you have you know, Troy actually put this great because he did the Joker after Mark Hamill, and you never. Oh, it wasn't that good. No, but the great thing about any character, like Deadpool or something, you never own the character. You inhibit it for a while, and except Nathan Drake, because you know. But you know, unless it's a movie and it's going to be Hugh Jackman. No, wait, it's Bradley Cooper. No, wait, it's Mark Wahlberg. Well, wait, it's Chris Pratt. He turned it down. No, wait, it's
Tom Holland?
okay. You know, yeah.
No, don't.
And it's going to be Jaimin Hunsu. It's going to. Let's go all over the place. We can.
Sully, get to the plane.
Just go with it.
You know, but to take these characters, to have, you know, to have it's a privilege, you know, and Uncharted, you know, just to, yeah, you know, the fact that I've been around the world and met people because of this character, you know, that I was, you know, it's people say, I'll talk to them for 10 minutes at table, and I say, hey, before I leave, could you do the voice? I'm like, we've been doing it for 10 minutes, it's just me. And ever since day one, they always said, you know, we want you to just put as much of yourself into this character as possible. And you know, to have it become so beloved, and that's something, it's the closest thing that I've had to being the leading man in a series that is the closest thing to me as possible. And to be recognized for that, I mean, I don't take that lightly. It is the pinnacle of my career, and like you said, it's pretty much over at this point. And I'm okay with it, but I'm okay. I'm going in.
Crying?
Inside. You're in tears? I don't. So yeah, the great thing is, it's a privilege. It's an honor to be able to do these and then to be recognized that I don't stink.
You don't. I mean, you stink sometimes, but not all the time. No, it's incredible to have gotten to be a part of what? Yeah. What? Amy? Amy Hennig is an amazing director. She's fantastic. It's okay, my name is Emily. It's really nice to meet you. What's your name?
But the confidence you said that in.
It's Amy.
Martin Scorsese.
He said, no, it's my Irish accent. It's Emily. Amy. Sounds like Amy, but it's Emily. Rose?
It's okay. It really is okay. I love it. The best.
This is the best panel ever. It's okay. He's in so much trouble.
No, I will tell you the thing that freaks me out mostly is when I go and I'm just shopping at Target on a normal basis and I have somebody, like I made a phone call once. I was in Target looking for something and somebody rounds the corner and they said, Elena Fisher. And I said, yeah. And I love you in that game. I love you in that game. What's weird to me is it's weird to have a recognizable voice. That's the part that's strange, you know, to have your voice be so recognizable in a character. But the best part for me about playing Elena over all these years is just to have the honor. I feel like Amy Hennig, the director, gave me this lovely gift of this woman, this girl that had never ever been represented before in video games. And so to have a chance to be a part of the technology that was Uncharted, that grew, and also to be a part of a female character in video games that hadn't been around and hadn't been explored. I mean, I got to do some of the first maternity mocap that has ever been done. I had 2 of my sons while working on this project, and I also feel like it opened up the door for so many other great girl characters. And while they may not be Elena, I feel like Elena opened the door and said, hey, other amazing girl characters, come on in. So to be a part of that, I'm truly thankful.
You better applaud that. That's awesome. I'll wrap this up briefly because I know we're running short on time, but yeah.
Quickly!
The Joker for sure, that was the only time that I ever felt the weight of the character. And that's because I let myself get in my own head about it. Whenever you start feeling that pressure, whenever you start thinking, oh, people are gonna think this of me and then they're gonna judge me on this, and I need to make sure that that my performance is just as good as everybody else, you're not doing a service to the character. That's all ego right there. That's just insecurities raising themselves to the surface. All you gotta do is keep your head down and do the work. Just do the work, tell your truth, and that is it. And that's to every actor. This ain't about the money and it ain't about the accolades, because there's easier ways to get both. You want money? Become a doctor. You want trophies? Go play on like a rugby league. Being an actor is not about on the other side of it. It is about what you leave on that stage, on that set. That's it. And that has to be all that it is, because everything else will leave you empty. But if you focus on that, you'll leave full every time. Yeah. Who's got the mic?
Okay, more questions. We'll go for the guy in the Flash jacket. Flash!
All weekend.
Is that in the universe?
Hey, my name's Ash. And,
Sam Jones has got a nickel, by the way. That was awesome.
And I can't wait for Last of Us 2.
Me too.
And I was thinking either you could tell more about Last of Us 2 or say, Ellie, you are treading on some mighty thin ice here.
What's funny is I haven't had anybody come up to me and go, Ellie's dead, isn't she? It's always Joel's dead, isn't he? I'm like, come on, why is he gonna die?
Because you're difficult.
It's true. It's just a theory, everybody relax. I'll tell you this much, because nobody wants that game spoiled. Before we premiered at PSX in December, and we knew that that was where we were going to reveal the trailer and everything. Neil, I had heard bits and parts of the story, and we had talked about different things over the 2 years between Last of Us, the first one, and that December. But he took me over to his house, and we sat in his living room, and he walked me through the story. And 2 hours later, I was in a heap on his couch. I was just in tears. I was like, that's the greatest story I've ever heard. It's an amazing story. And it's definitely more complex, it's more complicated because there's more about the characters to explore. We're no longer introducing these characters, but we're learning more about them. And it's everything you think it's gonna be. So it requires an incredible amount of patience. Trust me, there's nobody that wants this game out and in your hands more than Neil Druckmann or I. So just be patient. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. It felt good when we shot that trailer, it felt good to be Joel again. I missed him. And Ashley and I were sitting there and, we're just joking around on set. And then we go to film, and the first time that I said that line, like, are you sure you want to go through with this? Ashley said, I had not heard that voice. I had not seen Joel in so long. And it shook us both. I was like, wow. There was a new weight that happened when we got on that set. So yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
And you were treading on some mighty thin ice.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how's it going? To be quite honest, I don't know your opinion on it because I haven't read up on it. But in my opinion, the end of Uncharted 4, where you just get that picture of Elena, Sully, and Nate, I think that's the perfect send-off for Nate. I don't know whether anybody else agrees, but I honestly think that's probably the best send-off. I'm not afraid to admit it, I probably cried for about 10 minutes. It was 10 years of just everything flushing back and just going over my head and ahead, and I probably sat silent. So if your own opinion, would you change anything? Or could we see Nate or Elena again, or Sam?
Well, Sam's dead. You don't know, but Sam, at the end, he gets run over by a moped.
Humiliating death ever.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, actually, I've heard a lot of people. It was a very emotional send-off. It was such a bittersweet ending for me because, again, it's the best job I've ever had. If an actor's lucky enough to have a big break, that was mine, and it lasted for a decade. And it's Sony and PlayStation sent me, Emily, us all over the world to promote things, and yeah, it's been amazing. People, Uncharted 5, I'm like, one thing is you can't ride off into the sunset and then pull a Yui, right away. I'm not gonna lie to you that I don't think that it could be cool. It's like, maybe, down the line they say, we want to do one last one, like where it comes back. I mean, down the line when, it's like, all of a sudden I turn into Liam Neeson in Taken, like, somebody's got my daughter.
You just won't go away.
The one thing is it's so great to go on top. One thing I learned when I used to do stand-up comedy was like, you always want to, the hardest part is getting off the stage. And you want to hit that big one, and people are like, and they're, no, don't go, and you leave them wanting more. Uncharted 4 did that. It closed it off people would, I mean, and I'm sure Sony's going, but we'd make so much money. But, you know, if you go one step too far, it, you know, it can just,
Crystal Skull.
Yeah. It would dilute it, you know?
Just one last thing, it's a real quick one. Neil Druckmann, your honest opinion, I think he's probably done, I can't even explain it, I love the man. And I love Naughty Dog. I think Naughty Dog is the best company in the world. The amount of games they've produced, I think everybody has bought Crash Bandicoot, the HD remaster. And it's brilliant. I've been playing it since the other day, and to go back and play Jack Daniel.
Yeah, they really know how to make a game. The quality, the great thing about that company is everybody does their job really well. I mean, down to the every artist is an amazing artist. Every programmer just, I mean, they are just, they're managed well. They work so hard, and they make quality material, quality games.
Question over here.
My name is Noah, and I was just wondering, out of all of the characters that you've played, who do you see yourself most in, and why?
I think myself in David. Scrippy, because I like to.
No, you don't do this for David. She's like, he's so dreamy.
I like to torture young children, and I like to eat people. Good night, everybody. You know what?
That's a tricky question, I think, because I think every character you have a piece of yourself in, and I think that when you're creating a character, you're seeing how is this person like me and how are they different. So there's a lot of aspects about Elena that are very similar but very different, and there's a lot, I think that Audrey for me in Haven was that way. There was a lot that was very similar, but then very different. Like I laugh a lot more than Audrey did. And with Elena, I think I'm a little bit more gracious than she is on some accounts. But I think I'm just as badass as both of those girls, so.
I think that wow, I talk for a living. Infamous? Okay, Second Son? Cool. Yeah, Delson Rowe is probably as close to me as you can get, and especially that relationship that Delson has with his brother Reggie. That's really the relationship that Travis Willingham, who played Reggie, and I have. But it's funny because the character that I felt that I got to infuse myself, like you were talking about with Nate. Anybody played Tales from the Borderlands? Reese is me. Down to the mother flipping socks, everybody. That they put that in the game because of me, and I made an offhand comment one time talking about, like, look man, guys have very few opportunities for style, and footwear is one of them, so life is too short to wear boring socks. And Nick and Pierre, the writers, went, what was that again? And they put it in the game. That was super fun because anytime you get a chance to work with friends, it gets easier because you trust them, and acting is so much about listening and trusting, and when you know people, it's easier to do both of those things. So Borderlands working with Laura Bailey, or Infamous working with Travis, or Uncharted working with Emily, or Amy, as we like to call her, and Nolan. It just helps. So yeah, but when you get a chance to do stuff like that, when you get a chance to go, I'm gonna sneak myself into that, it's cool when it's a fun character. When it's a tragic character, it's really, really hard. And I respect people who are very skilled actors that are able to do a very emotional scene and be able to just pop out of it. Because we've all had those. I know you talked about that with Mafia 3. Whenever you have one of those scenes, you don't want to infuse yourself into that character. You don't want to have anything to do with that character. You want to do the work and be real and then get out because it's toxic. But therein lies is the rub, because that's the kind of role that every actor wants to get. But yeah.
And the real answer is Drake. Aside from the ability to climb things, that's pretty much me. Who?
Hello, I was just wondering, how did you guys get a career in voice acting? Like, how did you get discovered, and kind of what did you do to become a voice actor?
Specifically voice?
Voice, TV, anything really, just how did you become an actor, get discovered?
Me? I'll go. I didn't, man. I didn't know. There was no strategy. There was no bullseye. There was no target that I was going after. I was a musician, and I was strongly persuaded that I was going to make my mark in the world in music. Nope. That would come maybe later, but for me, it was, I walked in the wrong door, and they just happened to be looking for a guy, and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And every job after that was almost making sure that that person didn't make a mistake. And that I proved them right, that I had something and that I could be something in this. And it's just been figuring it out as I go. My path, and I'm sure you're gonna hear, is different than her path, and it's different from his path, which means there's no one way to do it. Which means, trust me, if I can do it and I'm an idiot, you can do it. If that's what you want, hell yeah, dude, yes! All you have to do is be brave enough to fail, and don't be anybody else. Everybody else that's already doing it has already been heard, and they don't want to hear us anymore. They don't want to see us anymore. They want to meet you. So you just be you, and you do you. And this, every day, win or fail, this. Conor McGregor, humble in victory, humble in defeat, man. And that's exactly what it is, because you'll have plenty of both of them. Cool.
For me, I had a teacher at UCLA that is his name was Gordon Hunt, and he was a famous voice director for a long time. Did a bunch of stuff for Smurfs, the Flintstones, all this stuff, and I just wanted to learn from him. And when I was done with school, he said that there was this part that he thought that I looked like, and I should come and audition for it. That was Elena Fisher. And I did not do very well the first time because we were in this voice booth with glass and they wanted us to move around and it was mocap and what is he talking about? And so he said, listen, we're not gonna go this direction, which means we're not gonna hire you, but I'd really like you to learn how to audition and come in and sit on the other side of the audition table and read across from all the other actors coming in. So I got to stay there for the day and read for the part of Elena all day long across from all these guys that were coming in. And I got to read across from Nolan.
I got it.
Yeah, he got it. And at the end, Naughty Dog said, essentially, they said, would you like to read for this again? And I said, yes, I would. And so I went outside and just kind of ran things one more time and came back in and auditioned, realizing, oh, that's what I can do. That's what they want out of an audition. And I can do this, and had to be brave and do it again. And then I got the part. But to be honest with you, that is an example of me being willing and being in the right place in the right time and being brave enough to do it. And every day since that job has ended, I've had to do the same thing, which is I have a very recognizable voice as that character. It's a lot harder for me, especially I feel as a woman in this industry, to get some of these roles. Some of those heavy hitter women are out there, and it is a challenge to go out and audition. If I can get in the room and I can act in the scene, I usually nab it, and that's my strength. But I'm still learning every day what it takes to be an incredible heavy-hitting voice actor, as well as what it takes to just go and get a normal job as an actor, you know? So just keep being brave, keep trying, and keep wanting to do it, right?
My favorite thing is always process of elimination. Got me to be an actor. I was in New York. I was a reporter, and I hated it. It was just terrible. And I love when people say, it's like, you do have to be brave. I didn't find my brave point until I was at the bottom. I was at the bottom of the barrel. I was like, well, this sucks. I've hit bedrock. I can't dig a deeper hole, and broke. I hate my job. I hate my girlfriend. I was like, seriously, and I was like, and I drove to Florida to see my brother and his family, and I mean, it's like, you know, went on a walkabout, just I'm out. And I spent like 2 weeks down there, and my brother's always been my best friend and really tight, and I said, I can't do this. I would rather do what I love and be broke than have a paycheck and be as miserable as I am right now. And I was 23, turning 24 at the time, somewhere there. And if you're 23, 24, you're a kid. There's plenty of time. You know, you don't have to figure, I want to be an actor when you're 12. I mean, it was late for me. And it was just one of those epiphanies, and I said, I've always loved making people laugh. I did a play in college, and it was cool just to play make-believe, and I did stand up on a dare from some guys, and you know, and sure enough, here it comes, and I went back to New York, quit my job, you know, and I was on a path, a trajectory. I mean, my parents lost their minds. They were like, yeah, you have a career, and it's like, yeah, it sucks, I don't want to do that. And I was on the path to actually be, you know, like. Today, the fire started on the second floor here. I mean, I even talked like that. And what I realized, I was acting like a reporter. I didn't love that. Get the story. It's like, no. And yeah, and then next thing I know, broke job. I had enough to pay rent, and you know, you can always make money. And then just one thing led to the next. I ended up about a year later moving to California. Within 6 months, I had a 5-year contract on a television show. Insane, lucky. There's a big, that's the other thing, if you struggle as an actor, there's a huge variable of luck that's involved in just getting that. And once you get in the door and you get that lucky thing, that's where, you know, you have to work hard and have the talent, what she said, always try to be learning. And that's, you know, it just kind of worked out. It's unbelievable. I could never have dreamed this big. You know, this is not something that people like me do. And it turns out it is. And then from that, the voice work came from a guy who I was on the show with. He said, you should talk to my voiceover agent. You do silly voices. I'm like, okay. Here we are. It's very, very, it's very strange, but that's it. It's all kismet.
Starting to get a little short on time. Let's see if we can squeeze in a couple of quick questions.
Okay. I mean quick answers.
Okay.
Sorry.
What was your childhood game? Your favorite game when you were a child, basically?
Oh well.
I loved Super Mario starting out.
Yeah, I like Donkey.
Honestly, and then I would totally love to play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and then I would also play Halo a lot.
There's games that you guys don't even. Anybody over 40? Okay, Zork.
Oh yeah, I played Zork. That was just read.
Yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide. I love text-based adventures. Love text-based King's Quest. Yeah, dude.
Castlevania.
Old school. Castlevania was like one of the first. Like any 8-bit Zork. I used to have to go up the street to my friend Lily's house. I had a friend named Lily because he had the Atari 1600, and we would play Pitfall, and we would do the Olympics. That was like, and then my dad had a computer, so I like played all these. The really cheap knockoff versions of games. Like it wasn't Pac-Man, it was like Pork Person, and he would like, you know, go around whatever. But yeah, it was all PC DOS games that I did growing up, and then my parents would give me like $10 and drop me off at the arcade and just pray I didn't get kidnapped. And I would
We used to play checkers, king me, and cribbage. King me! No, those aren't video games. I like when people ask me, did you always want to do voices in video games when you were little? I'm like, there were no voices in video games when I was little.
I was the voice of Qbert. Redux. Nobody? Alright, screw you. That was a great show. Great show.
You will not hear Qbert in a lot of places.
Hi lads, so this is just for Emily. So hi, I'm a huge fan of Haven.
Did you hear that? Emily.
Emily. I'm a huge fan of Haven and Audrey and Mara and all your characters. I'm just wondering, and Elena as well, obviously. But I noticed that you pick characters that are very strong and very, strong-willed. And I was just wondering, how does it make you feel that you inspire young women in that industry going ahead?
I think it's first of all, obviously it's so sweet that people even say that it's inspiring. That's just a byproduct of me getting to do what I love to do. I love that women are, being written in this way, and then I also love that I'm given the opportunity to play them. It can be a good and a bad thing. Sometimes I'm on set, and because I'm so strong-willed, I'm like, oh, that probably didn't go over very well. But no, I'm very thankful. I think that what's so neat about being an actor is when you study a character, parts of those characters seep into your own life, or you realize, hey, I need to be a little bit more brave on this. I remember we were in Nova Scotia at a U2 concert, and some guy and his girlfriend were like totally covered in mud, and we had one of our friends' parents with us, and they were totally cutting in front of us and being total jerks at this concert. And I literally walked straight up to him, and I had more balls than I've ever had in my entire life. And I thought, after I confronted that person and told them, to back off and to get to the, pretty much gave them the what for, I thought, I probably could never have done that if I hadn't played a cop for the last 4 years. So not only do I love that I get to play strong characters, but they inspire me.